I apologize for everything that's going to happen. Witness, your name, please.
April May, at your service.
God, she has such ooh stances. Order. An introduction should not require any reaction from the crowd. The witness will refrain from wanton winking.
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
This is not good. She's already captured the heart of every man in this courtroom. Tell us, where were you on the night of September 5th when the murder occurred?
Gee, I was, in my hotel room. I checked in right after lunch.
And this hotel is directly across from the Fang Co law offices?
That's right, big boy.
I'm so glad I'm not using my actual voice to do April. Please testify to the court about what you saw.
It was 9 at night. I looked out the window, And then, I saw a woman with long hair being attacked. The one attacking her was the mousy girl sitting in the defendant's chair. And then the woman, dodged to one side and ran away. But that girl, she caught up to her and she hit her. Then the woman with the long hair, she kind of slumped. The end. That's all I saw. Every little bitsy witsy.
Well, Your Honor, I see. That is a remarkably solid testimony. I don't see a need to trouble the witness any... Wait, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Wright. What about my cross-examination? I thought the witness's testimony now was quite firm, didn't you? Mr. Wright, I understand that you were Miss Mia Fey's understudy, were you not? You must know her techniques well. Her cowardly way of tiny faults and perfectly good testimonies. Hey, how dare you? Well, Mr. Wright, will you cross-examine the witness? Yeah. I'll gladly proceed with the cross-examination, if only because I have a feeling Edgeworth doesn't want me to. She has to have some weakness. Very well. We have the wiretap. Okay, hold on. So, my thing is, this is what I'm thinking. The evidence that we have. Also, this doesn't have the time of death anymore. The light stand would obscure it, so she wouldn't necessarily see. The one attacking her was Mousy Girls in the defendant's chair. We have 9. I can't really push that. The thing is how she's... Okay. I have to show it this way. But how it is, and her back was slumped against it, it doesn't make sense that she ran away because her back is against the wall. She dodged. Dodged what?
Well, the attack.
Please continue. Okay. Let's try pressing that. How did you know it was my client?
Huh? Well, first of all, she had a girl's physique. And secondly, she was small. Who else could it be but her?
Here's a point. I'm gonna continue to question it. Hold on, that test stinks.
What?
Miss May, I'm willing to bet that. I want to say that she's lying. Oh, wait, no. She couldn't have seen anything because of the lamp. Because there was the glass shards from the light. So I'm going to say she saw nothing instead of necessarily you're lying. Because she wouldn't have seen anything. Did you really see the defendant at all? Mr. Wright, what's the meaning of this?
Yes, what is the meaning? Someone tell me because I'm clueless. About this, I mean.
Okay, if you had really witnessed my client, Mia Fey, you would have noticed her clothes before noticing her physique. No one wears clothes like this on a daily basis, except her. And I'm no expert on fashion, but her hairdo looks far from normal to me. However, the witness's testimony means neither of these things. The testimony is bogus.
But...
We don't know if she was dressed that way the night of the murder. She was, Your Honor. I saw her, and so did Detective Gumshoe. What do you say to that, Miss May?
What are you trying to say, you mean lawyer? I saw what I saw. I just didn't think all that trifling little details were necessary, darling.
The court would like to remind you to please omit nothing in your testimony.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'll be a good girl, I promise.
Her voice is hurting me more than Rengo Phoenix. Darn, I almost had her. Okay.
I did see everything. I did. The victim, the woman, dodged the first attack and ran off to the right. And the girl in the hippie clothes ran after her. And she hit her with that weapon. I saw it. I did. That clock, the statue, she would not know it's a clock. Well, does the accuracy my important on Starlight?
She wouldn't have seen it because of the light being out. I only wish you had been so detailed from the beginning. Please begin the cross-examination. She wouldn't know that it's a clock. I want to press this because, again, this light. Oh, you saw me then, too.
Of course, I'd remember that spiky hair anywhere.
Nope. We're not continuing with that line. Okay. Hold on. You can't tell it's a clock. A clock? Didn't this come up in another testimony recently?
Well, don't look so sour. You can't win them all.
No, but I have a feeling I'm onto something now.
That clock, that statuey clock?
I'm going to present this. You can't tell it's a clock. Miss May, what you said just now was quite revealing.
Revealing? Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you, naughty Mr. Lawyer?
You just said that the statue of the thinker was a clock. There's no way of knowing that just by looking at it. Another person in much the same position as you recently called this a clock too, and he was found guilty of murder. Order. Miss May, can you explain how you know this was a clock?
Oh,
The witness saw the murder with her own eyes. That's all that's important here. The defense is trying to confuse the issue with trivial concerns. Yes, of course. You will withdraw your question, Mr. Wright. But questions are all I have, Your Honor. And as you may recall, I've caught murderers with these questions before. Well, only once. Objection sustained. You may continue to question a witness. Phew, that was close. If he stopped me there, the trial would be over.
What? So what happens now?
What happens now is you answer my question. How did you know it was a clock?
What? That's because I heard it? Yes, I heard it say the time.
So, you've been to the law offices of Fay & Co.
No, hey, I didn't say that. Why would I go there? I heard it from my hotel room.
The law offices of Fay & Co., where the murder took place, is very close to the hotel. She could easily have heard the clock. Well, Mr. Wright... No, Your Honor. I can't give up now. I'm not satisfied because... It couldn't have wrong because Mia hid the papers in it. I think. Your Honor, members of the court, it is inconceivable that the clock in question rang. Because it's empty. Right? Because she used it to put the papers in. That clock is missing its clockwork. I think. How could you possibly... Just take a look right now. Oh, see anything interesting, Your Honor? It is as the defense says. This clock is missing its clockwork. It's quite empty. Mr. Wright, would you care to explain to the court the meaning of this? It is as you can see, the clock was empty. It couldn't have rung. Therefore, this witness is a big, fat liar.
Fat?
Well, Miss May? Quite a show you've put on for us, Mr. Wright. He knew the clock was empty. Somehow he knew.
Because you have to present evidence before this starts.
I'm afraid you've forgotten one thing, however. Indeed, the clock is empty, as you say. It can't ring. However, we must ask, when was the clockwork removed? If it was after the witness heard the clock, then there is no contradiction. That's true. That is a possibility. The clock might have been emptied after she heard it. And that is exactly what happened, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright, can you prove when the clockwork was removed?
Did it?
Oh, impossible, of course.
Did it?
I have proof. What? Wasn't it you who told me proof is everything? Well, I was listening, and now I'll show you the proof you like so much. The evidence that proves when the clockwork was removed. Let me double check this. I should probably tell you the clock isn't talking right now. Yeah. Okay. It's the conversation they had. Take a look at this. That's a very cute cell phone.
Ooh. You have a girly phone.
Wait. This isn't my phone. Listen, this is the defendant's cell phone, and it contains a recording. A recording of a conversation she had with the victim on the day of the murder. Order. The defendant's cell phone? This wasn't brought to my attention. Yeah, and you had 2 sets of autopsy reports, Edgeworth. Perhaps Detective Gumshoe overlooked it. The detective better remember he's up for evaluation soon. You've said it like 6 times. I could probably make a drinking game out of it and be drunk by now. But that also might be because I don't handle alcohol well. I don't know. I gotta say, I'm starting to feel bad for the big fella. Let's hear the conversation.
So you just want me to hold on to the thinker for you then? If you could. I should probably tell you the clock isn't talking right now. Huh? It's not working? That's lame.
Okay, had to take... Your Honor, I think this makes it clear that the clockwork was already gone by the time this was recorded. Which was well before the witness even arrived at her hotel. Well, Miss May, would you care to explain this to the court? Just how did you know that weapon was a clock?
Well, isn't it obvious? I saw that clock before. What store was that again? I go to so many. Oops, I forgot.
So the witness had seen it before. That would make sense. It was made by a simp who sold it to a girl who was cheating on him. Does the defense have any objections, Mr. Wright? Yes. The witness claims she had seen it before, but this directly contradicts a piece of evidence already submitted to this court. Well then, let's see it. Please produce this evidence. Because it was made. It's simple. This clock was never in any store, ever.
What?
A friend of mine made that clock. Only 2 exist in this world, and the one that isn't here is in police custody.
Impossible. Everything is sold in stores.
Not when a simp makes it for a girl. Miss May, I think it's high time you went shopping for a better excuse. Can you shop for a better, Oh, excuses not on sale today?
Oh.
I have no idea what's going on.
What's it to you, porcupine head? That stupid clock doesn't matter, okay? She did it, and she should die for it. Die!
Whoa, let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is a court of law, and the witness will remain calm. I can't do...
Oh. Silly me. Did I, lose it? I guess I did.
scary. Miss May, let me ask. Tell me, how did you know the weapon was a clock?
Why does her face, right now look like a JoJo's character?
Oh dear. Does the defense have an opinion on this behavior? Okay, this is it. Yes, Your Honor. Allow me to explain how I see the truth of the matter. Miss April May, you knew the weapon was a clock because...
I'm going to say she heard about it because of the wiretap. Because I definitely can't accuse her because we saw her. So I have to say she heard about it, and I'm saying that with the wiretap.
The witness had never held a clock in her hand. However, she had heard that it was a clock. She heard? That is correct, Your Honor. There is no other way she could have known the thinker was a clock. And I could show you the proof. Well, this is interesting. Let's see it then. Show me evidence proving that the witness had heard the murder weapon was a clock, which is the wiretap. That's the only thing I could think of. Have a look at this.
That?
I found this in Miss May's room.
Which this feels like inadmissible evidence.
Mr. Wright, please explain to the court what this is. Miss April May, you were tapping the victim, Miss May Fay's phone, were you not? Your Honor, this is irrelevant. I'm not entirely sure that it is. Objection overruled. It troubles me that our witness was in possession of a wiretap. This is outrageous. Does the defense truly claim that the witness was tapping her phone? Absolutely. Even if that was the case, which it's not, you still have to prove one thing. Did the victim ever say that the weapon was a clock on the phone? Can you prove that? I think not.
We just heard it!
Oh yeah? I think I can. It's simple.
What?
Here's my proof. The proof that the victim said on the phone that the weapon was a clock is...
We've heard this conversation!
I present the defendant's cell phone. Yeah, we've seen it. Listen once more to the conversation between the defendant and the victim. Miss April May, you used a wiretap to listen to this conversation. That's how you knew the thinker was a clock. Am I wrong? Your Honor, this is ridiculous. Your Honor, look at the witness's face. Does she seem amused to you? The defense demands an answer. Witness, answer the question. Did you tap her phone? Miss May.
Shut up, all of you. What gives you the right to talk to me like that? You lawyer! It's not fair. All of you ganging up on me like that? Oh, so I'm the bad girl. Is that it? Is that it?
I'm not going to start crying. That did it. The court seen the real Miss April May now. Now to deal the final blow.
She didn't do it because we clearly saw her. Except for some reason the light hasn't played any issue, which is weird.
Why did you tap her phone? Answer the question.
Do I have to? Isn't this a murder trial? Isn't tippity-tapping irrelevant?
She's saying exactly what Edgeworth wants her to say. Miss May, you were tapping the victim's phone. I hardly call that irrelevant. While this court does not condone the defense's tone of voice, he has a point. I can't talk. Well, Miss May, do you have an explanation for the court? Can you prove that you had nothing to do with this murder, even though you tapped her phone? I'd like to see her pull that off.
Mr. Lawyer, I saw that evil grin. You were probably thinking, I'd like to see her pull that off, weren't you?
Damn, she's good.
Well, you're not the first man who's thought that. And of course I can and will.
You can't be serious. No way.
Way, I say. Oh, and I assure you, I'm serious, Mr. Lawyer. Okay, so the killing happened around 9 at night. Why, that's just when I was getting room service from that sweet bellboy.
Room service.
Iced coffee, I believe it was. iced coffee, like normal coffee, but cold. If you don't drink it quick, the ice melts and then you have regular cold coffee.
Iced coffee?
Think I'm making this up? Ask the bellboy.
Ergo, the witness was not at...
I never said she was at the scene of the crime!
So, where does that leave us? It is my great displeasure to inform you that the witness appears to have been tapping the victim's telephone. However, that is a separate crime with no bearing on the current case whatsoever. Her testimony stands. She saw the defendant, Maya Fey, commit murder. No, they're going to let her just walk away? There's no way I can win this unless I tie Miss May to the murder somehow. Well, what does the defense have anything to say? Well, come to think of it.
I'm going to continue examining her because, again, she keeps saying that she saw her, but the light was out. I don't want to call the bellboy.
What exactly do you have left to examine? Miss April May is admitted to the wiretap, yes, but that bears no relevance to the case at hand. Murder. There's no way you could prove any connection. Uh-oh. I think this can't be the end, but I'm out of evidence. Hold on. Wait, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Wright. The defense would like to call the bellboy after all.
But what about the light? Like, it was dark. Unless there was overhead lighting that she would have been able to see. She wouldn't have been able to see because that light was out. Should I have done that first?
As I thought. May I remind you, dear Mr. Wright, should you question the bellboy and Miss April May's alibi proves to be solid, then, by default, your client, Miss Maya Fey, will be pronounced guilty. Are you prepared to accept my condition, Edgeworth? He's got me backed into a corner, and I don't see any other way to take this. I accept. Very well. The court calls the hotel bellboy to the stand. I believe we're ready for the witness to testify. He certainly does look like a bellboy. I love how he comes into court with a thing of tea and cookies. 10 out of 10. I received your summons in the middle of work, sir. I'm happy to be of service. That tea set looks rather heavy, so without further ado, the witness... Yes, I'm so glad that they mentioned it. They're not just like, yeah, this is just the Sprite, and like, we're not going to mention it. Very good, sir. Okay. I don't care. Why would she call, though, for an hour for a coffee? Right, I'm ready. This is it. If I can't prove Miss May was involved with the murder now, Maya will be finished. Okay, that's... Hold on. Let me look at our evidence. This is the only thing that still bugs me, is the broken remains of a glass light stand. It doesn't look like we have any evidence. This is what's iffy. 9 on the dot, you say? Yes, I confirmed that detail several times. She was watching a program on TV and wished to drink after she finished, sir. 9. The time of the murder. But she asked for... This might not work. Are you sure it was that's... I saw them and... The point being, I remember her quite well. Oh, okay, he's talking about her tits. But she said, like 9? Let me push this. Precisely 9, then. Precisely, exactly, and most definitely, sir, 9 p.m. Oh. Bellboy T, he had, like, okay. Something like that. Therefore, I knocked it. Why would she be so particular about the time? This line means nothing. Okay, we've pressed that. We pressed this. I'm gonna... You're sure... An embarrasser. This is what I'm thinking. I think Miss May was up to something and wanted the bellboy to remember her. The bellboy has absolutely no reason to lie. Now, if you have any decency, you will end this rather tedious cross-examination here. I have to protest. Wait, does the defense have something to add? One last question. Let me ask one last question. Your Honor, I must object. The charade of justice has gone on quite long enough. Now, Mr. Edgeworth. All right, Mr. Wright, I give you one more question, that's all. This is my last chance. What do I ask him about? Okay. It's not the bed making. The check-in time seems irrelevant. Okay, I am looking. It does say to protest the check-in. So I'm going to go with this. Tell me about check-in. Tell me about when you checked in Miss May. Oh, all right. Very well, sir. My first thought was she was a beautiful, beautiful person. She's just my type of girl, so it was a disappointment, really. I see. Excuse me? What exactly was a disappointment? Well, I am not without charm, sir, but even I'd have little chance with her lover there. What did he say? What did you say? Rather, quite. Bellboy, tell us the truth now. Did Miss May check in with another person? I object. That was objectionable. God, it'd be really funny if it was Edgeworth. The witness only. Yes, I see. Why did you not mention this in your testimony? Well, sir, you didn't ask. Nice try. That's the sort of thing you're normally supposed to mention. Yes, quite. Indeed, it was the, good barrister there, Mr. Edgeworth, who... He asked me not to mention if it wasn't specifically asked, sir. You fool! I've done it. I've won. You didn't win. You've just poked holes in everything. April May checked into a twin room with a man, correct? Yes, sir. Then, when you brought them the room service, you didn't see that man in the room. That's right, sir. Your Honor, we have just learned of another person involved who may have been the murderer. In light of this new fact, I hold that it's impossible to judge the defendant. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth? And who, Mr. Wright, is this other person? Simple, it was... It's the man with Miss May. The man who checked in with Miss May. Your Honor, as have been previously revealed, Miss May was tapping the victim's phone. Yet, Miss May herself has an alibi at the time of the murder. However, that does not clear the man that was with her. That bellboy saw no one else in the room at the time of the murder. What a convenient little setup. It's too late. Too late? I suppose you'd like it if it was too late, wouldn't you? After all, it was you who hid the presence of the other man from this court. Upstart. Amateur. These accusations are ludicrous. Enough. The court acknowledges the defense's argument. I expect the prosecution and defense to look into this matter fully. Am I understood? Yes. Yes, Your Honor. That is all today for the trial of Miss Maya Fey. Court is adjourned.
God, we're still in September. Mr. Wright, you were amazing in there.
Really?
I think I might be your newest fan.
Oh, I was just doing my job, you know.
And then again, that other attorney was pretty cool too.
Huh?
That face of his, with his eyes wide and trembling lips, sent shivers up my spine.
And it sent shivers up Phoenix Wright's spine in that Applebee's too. Don't worry, Maya. If you say so.
So, what happens with me? Do I get to go home now?
Well... No, I don't think so. Not yet.
Oh, I see. But
I got a great lead in today's trial.
A lead?
That man with Miss May. He's the key.
Oh, I get it. What happened to Miss May after all, anyway?
I heard they arrested her. I guess she's learning her charms won't work everywhere. She's probably at the detention center now. I may have to go down there later. Anyway, this case is far from closed.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to find out more about this man.
Do you think he was the one who...
Maybe so.
Sis...
Don't worry. I'll find him by tomorrow, I promise.
I'm counting on you.
Okay. Now it's time for the investigation. I asked for a full record of April May's testimony. I thought it might come in handy during the trial tomorrow. But now that I have it, I'm not so sure. Most of her testimony was all lies. In fact, there's only one part that has been stricken from the record. I don't know how much good this will do me at all now. Anyway, time to hit the pavement and do some investigating. Maya doesn't belong at that detention center, and it's up to me to set her free.